Good morning, everyone. My name is Heidi Staples, and I'm the National Adoption Specialist in the Capacity Building Division at the Children's Bureau. And on behalf of the Children's Bureau, I just want to say thank you, and we're so excited and happy to see all of you here today. I'd like to start off today just with a thought of the day. We thought about what we wanted to title this policy to practice dialogue. And we decided to call it Child Welfare Leadership in Action because you are the leaders on the ground who are responsible for the work in your respective states. And really, what an awesome responsibility that is. We hope to bring you information, inspiration, contacts, resources, tools to use, and ideas to assist you in your mission, which is to lead and inspire and create change to benefit children and families. So our thought for the day is, vision is seeing the opportunity within the challenge. And so whether that's a hurricane or budget cuts or tragic casework circumstances or another type of challenge, we still have a choice about what we can contribute and accomplish and how we can lead, inform, and shape our respective organizations to bring about the kind of ongoing systemic and cultural change that best meets the needs of children, youth, and families. During the next 2 days, we hope we can use the collective wisdom in this group to recharge, reinvigorate, inform, and inspire. And here to start us off in just that vein, we have a special treat for you here today. Elaine Newkirk and the True Foundation Youth Choir, featuring youth from Maryland, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. Recently featured twice on the Dr. Phil Show, Elaine is an award-winning foster and adoptive parent who works with at-risk youth in her community. Elaine began the Time Ministries, which stands for Teach Youth, Motivate, and Empower, in her living room. That got too small, so then she went to a church, and now she runs an organization that serves 250 at-risk children. It has after-school programs, computer training, job training, performing arts activities, as well as this choir who has performed at the Apollo Theater and various hospitals and community organizations. Elaine is a former recipient of an Angels and Adoptions Award. She was the Adoptive Parent of the Year in New Jersey, and she's the incoming president for the Pennsylvania State Foster Parent Association. So we're just thrilled to have them perform 2 songs to start off our conference, and so I bring you the True Foundation Youth Choir.
There's a home somewhere for me. There's a place where I belong. In my heart I know someday I'll go to a home somewhere for me. There's a mom out there for me, and with her is where I'll stay, and the world will see we're family. There's a mom out there for me. There's a dad somewhere for me. In his arms is where I'll be safe. And when I cry, he'll be there to wipe away my tears. There's a dad somewhere for me. There's a home somewhere for me. There's a place where I belong. In my heart I know someday I'll go for me. There's a home somewhere for me. There's a place where I belong. In my heart I know someday I'll go to a home somewhere for me.
Thank you so much. That was 12-year-old Akira Westbrook. And I'm going to try not to cry. But we just want to take this time to thank you all for inviting us out here to do this performance. I'm always telling these kids how great they are and how wonderful they are, but it's nice to be able to have you guys show them that's important to them. Before I got involved with these kids, I wasn't this emotional. But we just want to thank you for allowing this opportunity for us to come and to thank you guys for everything that you do for these children. Sometimes it's nice to see the faces of the kids that you all work so hard to find homes and things like that for, and to let these kids know that they are somebody, they are worthy of love, and they are special. And that's what we do at the Time Youth Center. We support them, we encourage their dreams, and we do whatever we can to make sure that they can achieve those goals. And this next song that we're going to sing is called I'm Going to Make It, and it's about them making their dreams come true.
I'm gonna make it, 'cause I believe in me. I'm gonna make my dreams a reality. Nothing's gonna stop me as long as I believe. I can do anything that I can.
We'd like to have our Associate Commissioner, Christine Calpin, present a token of our esteem to the choir.
I'm going to do my best not to cry. I don't know. What a beautiful group of youth. I really just want you to join me all again in giving them a nice round of applause and in thanking them for...
Thank you very much. They're going to go sightseeing now, so have a good time. You made our morning. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to officially introduce Christine Calpin, the Associate Commissioner of the Children's Bureau of the Administration of Children, Youth, and Families, Administration for Children and Families. She oversees a staff working with state, local, and tribal agencies to develop programs that ensure the safety, permanency, and well-being of all children by protecting them from abuse and neglect, as well as finding permanent placements for those who cannot safely return to their birth families. Previously, Ms. Calpin served as Associate Director of the Child Care Bureau in the Office of Family Assistance, overseeing federal staff and contractors working with state, territorial, and tribal grantees to administer the Child Care and Development Fund, a $5 billion federal block grant program. Prior to that, she was a professional staff member for the United States House Committee on Ways and Means, focusing on child protection, child care, and welfare issues. Ms. Calpin started her federal government career as a Presidential Management Fellow and worked as an analyst in social legislation with the Congressional Research Service, where she specialized in welfare and child protection issues. So please welcome Associate Commissioner Christine Calpin.
Thank you, Heidi, for that warm introduction. I want to join Heidi and the staff of the Children's Bureau in welcoming all of you here to DC, and also to express our thanks and gratitude to all of you for the work that you do. The next 2 days will provide an opportunity for all of you to hear about some different best practice issues, et cetera, that will be ongoing. But this Policy to Practice Dialogue, Child Welfare Leadership in Action, was really put together to really help all of you with the challenges that lie ahead. Anybody who's been involved in the issue areas that you've been working with appreciates all that you all go through every day. I can't think of a more fitting way to begin this conference than the choir, who I thought were just wonderful, and that was the first time I'd had the opportunity to hear them. But Heidi had been selling their joys to me for the past few weeks and talking about how wonderful they were, and I agreed they could come as long as I didn't have to sing as well after them. But they really were terrific, so I'm really very pleased they could come. I also want to thank Heidi and Matt McGuire and the other Children's Bureau staff, especially in the Capacity Building Division, and the staff of the National Resource Center for Adoption for all of their work in putting together the agenda for the next 2 days. The purpose for this dialogue is to facilitate relationship building among all of you and to provide some opportunities for networking among the managers, to reinforce an even stronger commitment to the work that we're doing around youth, particularly around addressing permanency outcomes for youth. I'm sure that through the work that you're all doing with the states, you know the challenges associated with achieving permanency, particularly among youth, but especially for the older youth and the sibling groups. Our Child and Family Services Review team, who's been very deeply engaged in the states and in working with, I'm sure, a number of you around program improvement plans and around systemic change, have really been focusing on a lot of the permanency work that we've been doing. We're currently in round 2 of our Child and Family Services reviews. We're currently working to aggregate the findings that we've put together so far. I think through the work that we're doing, we really intend over the next 2 days to try to highlight some of the best practices that we're beginning to see, to really talk about a lot of the issues that we're beginning to see on a state-by-state basis, and to work with all of you to learn about what challenges you really have ahead. Among those of you, I'm sure, who've gone through your Child and Family Service reviews and those who've begun to see the final reports that we've posted on the website, I think 2 of the big challenging areas that we continue to see in the states in terms of addressing outcomes for children really focus around permanency and around well-being. If you're familiar with our review instrument, the Permanency 1, as we call it, and the Well-being 1 outcomes, which relate to timely adoptions, to appropriate outcomes for older youth in care, that relate to really addressing the needs of children and families in a very holistic manner by working with them, are really some of the areas in which the challenges really are being faced by child welfare directors. I think that's really why we wanted this opportunity to bring together the foster care and the adoption managers and the family preservation managers, to bring you all here, to provide you an opportunity to spend a few days thinking through some of the issues that you're facing and trying to really help the children in your system, and to think about the opportunities you have with other states to learn about what they're doing to really address this outcome. I want to just spend a few minutes talking about 2 of the sessions that will be here and highlighting them for you. The first is one that will happen tomorrow morning at 10:45 on the Multi-Ethnic Placement Act. We're very familiar that a lot of your states have been requesting assistance around MIPA for a number of years. We've prepared the training that we're doing tomorrow alongside our Office of Civil Rights to really provide some overview information on MIPA, to talk to you about what MIPA permits, what MIPA may permit, and what some of the issues may be around what MIPA does not permit. We really hope that this will begin to provide you with some information to think about, to really more clearly delineate for all of you what the federal law is, and for you to really understand what the parameters are. I think there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of concern around what MIPA is over the last year. I know there's been a lot of dialogue that's been ongoing. I think what would be productive is for us to really have a conversation about what the MIPA law is, to really understand what MIPA allows, what MIPA doesn't allow, and to think about what that means for each of the individual states. So the session tomorrow is intended to provide all of you with this information so that you could take it back to your individual states, look through your policies, and then follow up with questions. This is very much going to be a state-by-state issue in terms of the work that we do, but we very much are committed to ramping up our technical assistance efforts and to working with all of you on how to address this and to be sure that you are in compliance with MIPA. The other thing I wanted to just briefly highlight is the session that will be part of what we're doing tomorrow, along with all of the other federal updates you'll be hearing over the next few days, which talks about the Fostering Connections to Success and Increasing Adoptions Act of 2008, which was signed earlier this month. We are very actively engaged in the Children's Bureau in terms of review and analysis of this very in-depth, complex bill. We will be releasing information to all of you very soon in terms of more general guidelines as well as very specific policy information. I do encourage all of you. I've been contacted by a number of you asking about kind of specific state questions. I want to just offer to all of you that what I would like you to do is to be compiling your questions and sending them to our policy division folks through your regional office. Heidi and them can give you that information, or we can even just give you the information here for central office, so that we can be sure as we're looking through this that we're asking ourselves all of the right questions as well and putting out the most helpful guidance as possible. You'll hear more about generally what's in the bill tomorrow, but for those of you who may not be aware, this legislation provides an option for kinship guardianship assistance payments for states who are interested in this. It will provide for the reauthorization of the Adoption Incentives Program, including doubling adoption incentive awards, particularly for special needs children as well as for older children. It includes a number of other provisions that don't take effect for a few years, but I think have generated some excitement in the field, which include the delinking of adoption adoption assistance from income beginning in 2 years to a point where by 2018 all children who receive adoption assistance will be eligible regardless of income. And it also begins in 2010 because it's October 1st, 2010, but both of them are fiscal year 2011. It also will provide for foster care and adoption assistance and guardianship payments if the state chooses for children for youth who are age 19, 20, and 21. So it expands that for a very difficult population right now who have been, we've seen through research and through the work that the states are doing, have been a challenge in terms of trying to find permanency and really put them on the right path. So you'll hear more about some of the general provisions tomorrow. You will certainly see a strong communication of this bill to the states and to all of you from the Children's Bureau through both central office and regional office. But I do encourage all of you, as you have questions and concerns that come up with this, to be sure that you're sharing them with us so that we can be responsive in answering that. The other thing I wanted to just point out about the bill is obviously the tribal direct for-you foster care program as well. For those of you who have been working with tribes, I think that's another big provision. By no means are these the only ones, or by any means the ones that are the most important, but I think these are the three that we've been seeing the most questions coming in now, so I wanted to be sure to just highlight them as well. I think the last thing I just wanted to do again was to thank you all for coming and to thank you for your work. There's nothing more important than what we do every day in terms of trying to really be sure that we're focused on making sure that what we're doing helps these children. And again, I think the youth really provide the face of what everyone does every day. And I just want to close by thanking all of you again for your work, by thanking you for taking the time from your very busy schedules to come and spend 2 days with us, and thanking those in your state who made this possible. I know this wasn't easy. I know this is a big commitment of your time, but I really do believe this will provide you with a wonderful opportunity for networking, and I really do hope that the next few days provide you with some very useful information and some best practice to take back and really help your states.